he's getting it now.
Hey everyone, welcome to Heavy Metal Customs. Of course, we're back in our 1968 Mustang Bronco. And today, I'm going to be working on the Fender Aprons. We have 4 of them. Normally you would have 6. But seeing as I put the independent front suspension in there, we got rid of this one. So the center one, we're going to have to custom fab ourselves, which I look forward to. Love doing stuff like that. But first thing we need to do is get these 4 set where they're supposed to be. Then we can do is a hardboard template and get to do some sheet metal work. But first things first, I need to take these 2 front ones back off. I just done a quick test fit on them. And go ahead and punch the holes in them so that we can get a rosebud weld going. Let me get that done right quick, and then we'll get these back on here, and I'll show you how I'm going to line them up and get them set. Alright, I'm test fitting the passenger side first, because what I've noticed here is, you see there's 2 holes down there in the frame. One lines up, one does not. We have to have them holes for our battery tray. So let me get a marker and mark that other one out and get it cut out. Besides that, this one seems to fit good. But let me get that cut out. Then what we need to do, since this stuff here came with a black primer on it, not the weldable primer, need to give me a line down through here wherever I'm going to be welding. Go ahead and grind all that black off and get some weldable primer on that as well. Well, let me get that cut out, get that cleaned up, and get some weldable primer on both sides. Got that cleaned up, get some of that weldable primer on there. And as you see, I have both sides set. That's where it should go, I do assume. We're flat up against here. We're level across our front. I put the level on both sides. But sure does look like that's going downhill some. We may have to look at that a little closer. Maybe this front's not supposed to be level, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's supposed to be level going across here. Well, we're fixing to check that situation out. Let me get my little pieces put in here and get this all straightened up. And what I mean by that is, got these little square tubes. Off this way. Everything lined up. I thought a piece of square tube straight across there to do the trick. Apparently there's probably a curve right in there. So I'm going to push this up as far as it goes. Then we'll look from the front and just see how that looks to us. Yeah, that looks correct. See, we got a nice straight line going down through there. Yeah, I like it. Let me do the other side the same way. Yeah, all of that's looking like it's supposed to. We'll grab a couple of sheet metal screws here. Get it set in place. Metal screws can be your friend. A couple of these. I'm going to find the one that's a little on the chubby side. Zap a couple on the other side, and then we'll see. Alright, got some screws out in the back, one in each bottom, so I can get rid of these clamps. And the same over there, bolted nut, whatever holds it. These clamps are okay because they're not in our way. These were because this is a plate that we need to get to make it. Alright, so I cut me a piece of cardboard, 22 inches by 15 and a half. And then I just held it up here, approximately where it goes. Got my notch there. It's 5 inches up. So, that is looking pretty good. But we want the inside of our new piece of metal to be the same contour as the inside of this. So, now what we do, we have a trusty ink pen here. If I can hold this. Here we come. I gotta come up some. Okay, looks good. Alright, you see we have that pattern right there, but we don't want to cut on that pattern because I've done that here. We want to come out of that pattern we'll call it an inch. Yeah. We'll make a little more on this one. 1 inch will be fine. Go all the way around there. So just come to your piece of cardboard pattern that you have, and whatever you drew here, bring it all out an inch. That's where you'll cut your pattern. And here's what we end up with. Sits down in there, just pretty as you please, somewhere like that. That'll work. Got to remember to make a full piece down there where that chunk is missing. Yeah, that works. And then it gets bent, and then bent. And I took it over to the other side. Pretty much a mirror image. Just flop it over there and cut 2 of these. Only thing different is going to be the bends on top. So let's transfer this to a piece of metal. There's the preliminary rough cut. Well, almost smooth cut. We do have to dress up the edges and that square. But yeah, I think that's going to work out pretty good. Now, we need to get our mark for a bend. You see, I got a couple pieces of metal down there at the bottom, spacing that thing up. Let me get y'all back in here. Alright. Now all I'm going to do, take my Sharpie, alright, let's take it over to the brake and make. It's not going to be a 90. Probably start out with like a 70. Let's move this out here out of the way. Well, let's take it over there and get us a bend. going to be one of them pull it into place sort of things. That right there looks really good. Now I want to get this other 90 mark. Now I'll take it over there, and that one I'll make an actual 90. And bam, there you go. We got to clean up this edge here, of course, cut it off just a little shorter, and clean it up, and clean up everything else. That right there looks good, and it fits good. We'll have to get our fender out, so we'll know where to put our notches in top there where the fender bolts down. Besides that, I like it. A little bit of cleanup, and we'll need to get some bead roll in there, and this thing will be ready to rock. So far, so good. I'm getting it welded in there. What we're trying to do is get all my welds, but they're not going to be seen so much. Be here under the fender. Of course, I'll grind all that down and make it pretty anyway, prime, paint, blah, blah, blah. But that's what I'm up to, getting all of this welded in. So I'm really happy the way the panel turned out. Yeah, that looks really nice. What I'd like to do, if I can find me a nice piece of square rubber to go here, like a little mud flap thing to fit over that. I think that'll look, you know, pretty nice and help keep that tire from slinging water and mud and stuff up at the engine bay. But right now, since I've got all of this welded in on this side, we have these right here. These little pieces that go from here to the firewall and get welded in. So I've got them for both sides. I'll go ahead and get my hole puncher punched and get these set up and ready to weld in. Alright, got majority of the grinding done. This black primer in there. Yeah, that ain't looking too bad. The piece welded up and went in great. There's the other side, all of that worked out. All I lack is a little bit of grinding there at the bottoms and getting some primer on that. But all in all, I gotta say I'm happy with the way that turned out. Not bad at all, guys. And there we have it, guys. That's how I do the front aprons and make a center whenever I'm doing an IFS style suspension. There's different ways to go about this and that and other thing. But like I say, that's the way I do it. It turned out good. We even grabbed the fender and set it on here for alignment purposes, make sure, and yeah, all the bolt holes line up good and everything. So we're ready to rock and roll on that. Well, we appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed that. Maybe you learned a little something. If you would, throw us down some comments. If you're able, hit us up on the super thanks below. And please like, share, and subscribe. Again, appreciate it much. To the next one, we hope that everyone has a fantastic day.